There was once a man named Vihaan who quietly believed that life had already passed him by. From the outside, his life looked normal. He had a stable job, a place to live, and a routine that never changed. Yet inside, he felt stuck, neither failing nor truly living, just existing somewhere in between. Every morning, his alarm would ring, and he would stare at the ceiling for a few extra seconds. Not because he was tired, but because he lacked a reason to get up. His days followed the same predictable pattern: waking up, rushing to work, sitting in the same chair, speaking to the same people, returning home, scrolling endlessly on his phone, and going to sleep. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, until time blurred into something he no longer paid attention to. Deep within him lived a quiet but powerful belief. He was too late. Too late to change his life, too late to chase his dreams, too late to become someone more. This belief slowly shaped his reality, convincing him that effort was pointless and change was out of reach. One evening, after a day that felt no different from the countless others before it, Vihaan sat by his window watching the sunset fade into shades of orange and purple. For the first time in a long while, he spoke aloud, almost in a whisper, "I wish I had more time." The moment the words left his lips, something impossible happened. The ticking clock stopped. The cars outside froze mid. Even a bird in the sky seemed suspended in place. The world had fallen into an unnatural, complete silence. Confused and startled, Vihaan stood up and called out. But there was no response until a voice spoke. It was calm, steady, and seemed to come from everywhere at once. The voice introduced itself as time. Shocked and uncertain, Vihaan questioned what was happening. But the voice simply told him that he had been given what he asked for. Time without limits. There were no deadlines, no age restrictions, and no excuses, left only his choices. At first, Vihaan did nothing. For years, he had blamed time for everything he had not achieved, and now that time itself had stopped, he felt lost. The freedom he once desired felt unfamiliar and uncomfortable. Days passed as he wandered aimlessly, unsure of how to begin. Eventually, he decided to try something small. He picked up a pencil and began to draw. His lines were uneven, his sketches imperfect, and frustration came quickly. Still, he tried again. Then he began writing, though his words were clumsy and his ideas unclear. Each failure tempted him to stop, but something inside him pushed him forward. Without the pressure of time or the fear of judgment, Vihaan slowly began to improve. His drawings became more refined, his writing more expressive, and his thoughts more confident. For the first time in his life, he felt truly alive, not because life had become easier, but because he had stopped avoiding difficulty. As time stood still, Vihaan continued to grow. He failed many times and doubted himself often, but he no longer ran from challenges. Instead, he faced them, learned from them, and kept moving forward. One day, he looked into a mirror and realized that while his appearance had not changed, his eyes had. They reflected belief, strength, and determination, qualities he had never seen in himself before. Eventually, the voice returned and asked him if he was ready. This time, Vihaan answered without hesitation. When asked what he had learned, he realized the truth. Time had never been his enemy. His fear, his doubt, and his hesitation had been the real obstacles all along. With that realization, the world suddenly returned to motion. The clock resumed ticking, the cars moved again, and the bird flew away as if nothing had happened. Everything was exactly as it had been except for Vihaan. The next morning, when his alarm rang, he did not hesitate. He did not lie in bed questioning his purpose. Instead, he got up with intention. He began to take action, not waiting for the perfect moment, but making the most of the moment he had. The journey was not easy. He faced struggles, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but this time he did not stop. He kept going because he no longer believed he was too late. Years later, when someone asked him how he had transformed his life, Vihaan simply smiled and said that he had stopped waiting for more time and started using the time he already had. The truth is that time never stops for anyone. It keeps moving, indifferent to our fears and excuses. But the moment we decide to begin, to take control, and to act despite uncertainty, that moment becomes the turning point of our lives. Moral: you are not late. You are only waiting. Start now.